They actually discussed with they were discussing with the National Guard, like
Let's
they
get
wanted
this
to bring them
easy.
into Memphis. They wanted to bring them into Memphis because the violence is out of hand. But I mean, like I said, Memphis PD, they don't care.
Where was that
Fucking
place?
bureaucrats.
Where was that place this week where the number one golfer in the world was like slammed up against a car? Was that in Tennessee or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
he was on his way to the Masters,
Hmm.
and he was trying to get in, and this cop like jumped on his car and like rode it for like 30 meters, and then he finally stopped, and then the cop pulled him. It was the same. You know what city was it that Breonna Taylor was shot in? It was
Shoot,
some
I know what you're talking about. It wasn't. It wasn't Memphis.
no, but it was some. I think it's Tennessee I don't know.
It might be.
Well, I could look it up, but I don't want to. All I know is before he was teeing off at like 10:30. They took him down, booked him, charged him with felony assault on a police officer, and
Hmm.
then took him back. I wonder if that screwed up his game at all.
Did you see that Steve Buscemi just got randomly punched in the face in New York City?
No.
Are you serious?
Who would punch that man? The man is a living meme. What?
I love him so much. Not only is he a living meme and just a great comedian, but he's an all around amazing guy.
Yeah. So why would anyone punch him? Apparently, it's a trend to
Yeah.
punch random celebrities.
Oh, why
It happened
him
to Rick
though?
Moranis as well.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. I love Rick Moranis. Yeah, I mean, when they say punch a random celebrity, like it's not like like that random. Don't make it someone that freaking deserves it. Don't just go punch Keanu Reeves in
Punch
the face.
JoJo Siwa in the face.
Right, please.
Punch Justin Bieber in the face. If you
Don't
have to
actually
punch,
do that. We're about to we're gonna don't punch anyone in the face. We're joking.
yeah, obviously, this is all for a giggle, allegedly in Minecraft. But if you have to punch a celebrity in the face, can't it be one
Yeah.
of the shit ones?
Right. Don't like Dennis gave up acting so that he could take care of his kids and be a family guy. He's just an all around good guy. Why'd he punch him in the face? Steve Buscemi helped during 9/11. He's a freaking firefighter. And he had already had some success. Like, obviously, when 9/11 happened, he had success and he, like, dropped everything and just went in and helped. Like, there was no press around it or anything like that. I can't remember who outed him years later, but yeah, like genuinely good people don't punch him in the face. Please just find someone like
So find
Andy
someone
Dick.
deserving,
Yes.
alleged. Yes,
There,
punch Andy Dick. Definitely punch Andy Dick in the face. Allegedly in Minecraft. Obviously,
Allegedly in
there,
my
there currently
obviously.
there currently is a New York land baron, yeah, who's in court this week for doing something wrong. Why doesn't somebody punch him in the face?
Is he a celebrity?
I mean, he
Uh,
kind of is now if he's in the news, right?
well, no,
Yeah, but like, is he a celebrity before that? They have to have been a celebrity.
the apprentice.
The Apprentice. Oh, right then.
Yeah, the
Yeah, so
person who
he's a
the
third rate celebrity.
the person who was the Lord Sugar of the Apprentice, uh, one DT.
Okay. Hey, Tom.
He had
We're
sex.
just
Hi guys.
He
just
had
Sorry,
just
I'm
for
sex,
late.
context, Tom. We're discussing which celebrity would punch in the face if we could.
he had sex with
Okay.
Stormy Daniels, if that helps.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
you've got to say
yeah.
allegedly in Minecraft after you say the celebrity you want
Yeah,
Obviously.
allegedly.
In
in
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We're not advocating for anyone to go out and punch Jojo Siwa in the face
No.
really hard and get your friends to
No.
video it and
What?
upload the video.
Thanks
But
for
then the
telling me. Thanks,
people that they're
thanks, for,
punching.
thanks for telling me we went live. By the way,
We went live ages ago.
Yeah.
It was a
awful.
really good conversation. I wasn't going to waste that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Penny and Ellen Phone podcast. We are live. Sorry, but yeah, it was a good conversation. I wasn't going to waste that great content.
Oh, I don't even remember what I said now.
Good. It was awful.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed. There's been dishonor upon you, dishonor upon your
Okay.
cow.
Yes.
Gabby sent me the thing. It's Scheffler faces charges of second-degree assault of a police officer, third-degree criminal mischief, reckless driving, and disregarding traffic signals from an officer directing traffic.
Louisville, Kentucky, I think it was.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. Well, to me, Kentucky, Tennessee, what's the difference? I don't care. It's like,
I mean, it's all in the same basic area, right?
yes, I understand. I mean, but if I lived in Memphis or Louisville, I'd be offended. The same way
Yeah.
English people think that you have to have a different passport to go to Scotland.
Yes.
What?
Jesus. There's no one actually. Well,
No, I will tell you. Okay, so I've been watching this trash program on TV called Married at First Sight. Or
Oh my God, it's so bad.
It wasn't okay. No, it wasn't that one. But I've been watching that one too.
90 Day Fiance?
No, it was called Celebrities Go Dating. That's what it was.
What?
Celebrity Goes Dating. I think it's on channel 4.
Oh, that tells me all I need to know.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah, so this one lady that he was going on a date with was from, I think, Edinburgh. And so it was the celebrity that asked, if he said, we went a far way, and do I need a different passport to go to Scotland or different money? I mean,
they do have different money in Scotland now.
No, I understand. Well, there's Bank of Scotland money, but still pounds.
Yeah, but it looks different.
Yeah, I know. Irish money, Northern Irish money looks different too. So he's trying to figure it out. When I was
red squirrels on the 20.
Yeah, when I was there, that was the hardest thing for me to figure out, was because like different sizes, the notes and all that is not indicative of what it is. You can look at it, and if you don't really see, you could give somebody like, a £20 note instead of a $5. Everybody was good though. They helped me.
Still haven't seen any money with Prince Charles's face on.
I don't think you're going to, Mick. I think everybody's. I think everybody's moved away. What about that portrait of him that makes him look like that guy from Ghostbusters?
It's a terrible.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, Lord Vigo or something.
Yeah, he should have. He should have like.
Go on, Richard.
Someone should like sue everyone involved in that painting, like for real. But yeah, yes, Gabby, you can have a male and female choice. Chat if you want to participate in the whole which celebrity do I want to punch. Allegedly in Minecraft, you get a male and female choice. Carry on, Tom.
Oh, just to say, that you mean the bad guy, Kevin, in Ghostbusters 2, who is indeed called Vigo.
Yes,
that's exactly who I thought you meant as well.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it looks like he's a genocidal maniac. You know what I mean? They should have painted Henry VIII like that, because he really truly was a genocidal maniac.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, I checked out the new Ghostbusters film the other day.
Oh, there's a new one?
Yeah.
With Paul Rudd. I want to see it really bad.
Frozen Empire. It was like Ghostbusters 2, honestly. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either.
But you didn't feel bad for like investing the time to watch it?
Nah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's Paul Rudd. I don't care what he's in. He's just an enjoyable actor to watch.
I really loved Afterlife, though. I felt that was like a really good film.
That really was. They did a great job.
Afterlife. I don't think I know it.
After Ghostbusters Afterlife, that was the.
Oh,
The one with the
but
kid.
yes, I know what you mean now. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, sorry, my computer was playing up for a minute. Yeah, I didn't watch that one. At least I haven't done yet because Mark Commode reviewed it and he thought it was really derivative. And just a movie just for massive fans of the first one. That's probably not a good enough reason to not
No,
give it a
it's
go.
such a joy, Tom. It really is just a joy. It's a really
Okay, I'll give it a
beautiful.
go. I think it's on BBC iPlayer at the moment.
Why?
Right, they're
And even
not.
if it's. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And even if it is, who else is going to watch it? Except for fans of the franchise.
Yeah, nerds.
I've never understood that
Yeah.
argument. Oh, it's just for fans. Who else is going to watch it?
All right.
And
Well,
so
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I want to defend to Tom and give him an insight into it. I believe that it is a beautiful um homage to the original. I think that it is meant to draw in a new generation into the Ghostbusters franchise, and I think it does a wonderful job because it's really kid friendly. The kids are basically the heroes in the situation. It's a wholesome freaking movie. It's adorable, and I was going into it expecting to be angry. Like I didn't even watch the one with all the chicks in it. Um, and I was really touched by how they did it. They did a great job, I think.
Well, none of us get
Paying
upset about
tribute. Yeah.
really reboots of things. You know,
Nah.
the Star Trek reboot, whenever they really sort of did that, nobody cared. You know, everybody watched it.
Yeah, they're wonderful too. I mean, they're
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Except for
Well,
you know,
whoa,
Star War.
Let's not go overboard, okay? The
Okay, not
Star,
all of them. Star
the
Wars.
Star,
I'm
the
sorry.
new
I
Star
went
Trek movies were not
listen.
fantastic.
Yeah, well, I think that they were still great though. I think that they had a great cast and I think
They
that they were
they
still really freaking amusing. I think
they
that they were
played
all great.
way too fast and loose. There was too many continuity errors.
It was
No,
a very JJ Abrams you could tell he was
yes, you
all
could.
over it. But they're still like I don't know. They still felt Star Trek esque. It's just like New Horizons and all the others. I watch them and I love them as much as other series because you go back and you watch TNG and it doesn't have the same magic it had in the 90s.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's yeah,
And so they've done really good at keeping it fresh and new. It's kind of like Doctor Who.
yeah.
Doctor
Strange.
Who has gotten more diverse and they have continued to just evolve through the years.
Doctor Who is drowning itself in the message at the moment. So fuck Doctor Who.
I listen, I might skip way ahead and actually watch the new Doctor. I'm so excited for him. I love him as an actor.
Well,
Well,
is
actually,
is there a
go
lady
on, you
one
can.
right now? I'm not sure. Is there a lady?
No,
Doctor Who?
they finally realised that had been a terrible idea and they got rid of that.
Oh,
It wasn't a terrible idea, I don't think, Jodie Whittaker. It was just the
Yes, it
for
was.
me. For me, there wasn't anything wrong with fundamentally casting a woman or her. I
Yeah,
had
Oh no,
very high hopes after Jodie Whittaker's performance in an episode of Black Mirror, which I believe is called The Entire History of You, which is one of my favorite episodes, and she was brilliant in that. Really
let me be
conveyed the
clear.
character.
I don't have a problem with a female Doctor Who. I had a problem with Jodie Whittaker's fucking phoning it in performance.
Well, the scripts really didn't lend themselves to a good performance. I don't think the stories were very good at all, overwhelmingly. And there were a few exceptions. Fugitive of the Jadoon being a real highlight. If they were all that good, then we'd have been talking, or even close. That it would have been something special. But as it was, the 3 seasons she did were not very engaging. now, so the current ones, Nikki, is talking sort of you especially. The current ones, they've released 3 episodes of this season. I think it's the 14th season, and the first 2 are really camp. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just
Yeah,
not what you typically expect from Doctor Who. But the
that's
third
a
one was just
lot. Some of my favorite Doctor Who's have been super camp.
well, you have to buy into it, and especially the one that the Devil's Cord with the enemy as Maestro, who may or may not be the Master, and it's really good. The episode before, Space Babies, that was the season opener. I really liked that. I was able to buy into the story, and it was a lot of fun. The second one, The Devil's Cord, I thought I struggled with it a little bit. And the third one was really good. I can't remember its title. Boom. It was called Boom, the one we've just watched, and that
Yeah.
was absolutely brilliant.
I think he's going to do such a great job. I'm just into Matt Smith because I go through excessively long morning periods between doctors. So I'm just into Matt Smith. I would skip ahead just to watch him. I absolutely have loved him in everything I've seen him in. And I think he's going to do a great job.
Well,
I'm really excited to see what he does.
I think the only other thing I've seen him in is Sex Education.
Yeah, and he's brilliant. Oh, so good.
He is. Hannah and I really liked that, and we thought it would be a very different character he'd be playing in Doctor Who, which it is. But he pulls it off so far. He's far more alive and electric than Jodie Whittaker ever managed to be. I take no pleasure in. I mean, she worked very hard, and it was a big responsibility on her shoulders, and I don't
Sometimes
believe
you have a shit script. I mean, honestly,
it just felt that way to me.
yeah, there are plenty of actors who kind of get a bad rap because of one crap script.
Oh, I bet I think I've read that some of the actors when they were reading the scripts for the last season of Game of Thrones were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, they were super upset.
Lena Headey took some real convincing from Nikolai Costa-Waldau or whatever his name is, the guy who plays her twin brother, Jamie. He had to really persuade her that this was worth doing, I thought, or something along those lines. And I've seen clips of little clips of interviews where they're like, "What the?" Where they're just really struggling to defend the series.
Did you see the table read where Kit Harington first read the end of the script?
Is it when he pushes himself away from the table?
Yeah, and he just looks at her and she's like hiding behind the script, nodding because he hadn't read it yet. And I think that you could see the shock.
What, that he
just
kills
going
Daenerys?
through just the shock going through him, like, what the crap is this that I'm reading in front of me right now?
I mean,
but but it would be like saying, hey, they all suck as actors because it was a crappy season.
I do think that you definitely have a great example of 21st century entitlement when they all when many fans signed a petition for them to redo and reshoot the entire season.
Hey, you know what? We got Ugly Sonic fixed. All right, maybe
they
really
absolutely should redo the
Ugly
season.
Sonic. So fix ugly Game of Thrones season.
I mean, they'll do it eventually, in 10 years or so.
Yeah, in 10 years we'll get a whole new Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they'll reboot it or something.
A bigger question, it won't be I don't think it'll be redone. The question is, will G.R.R. Martin finish these before he's pushing up the daisies, bless him?
God, no. Of course not. Of course not. His publishers are waiting for him to die, or allegedly in Minecraft. And may even take matters into their own hands, allegedly in Minecraft. And then as soon as he died, it's suddenly going to come out, oh, we found these manuscripts that he'd written for these books, and they're just going to get ghostwriters to finish them off. If anybody cares by the time he dies. I don't like George R.R. Martin at all as a human being. I just want that noted. I think he gets paid vast amounts of money to do absolutely nothing. And, he was an executive producer for the last scene of Game of Thrones, and he slated it as much as the rest of us did. And I'm like, no, you don't get to do that. Not when you're an executive producer.
How about this? I mean, are we done talking about Game of Thrones? Because I wanted to talk about this baby reindeer film. Have you talked about that yet?
No, we haven't.
We haven't, and we're on episode 4 of 6.
5.
No, 5 of 6. Yeah.
I've watched them all.
And what do you well, the reason I'm asking is because Piers Morgan did an interview with the person that it was based on, the female lady,
the woman who mostly outed herself. That one.
Let's just have a bit of backstory here in case anyone isn't up to speed, if that's okay.
No, you go ahead, because I haven't watched it at all.
Okay, I'll just set the scene. Scene is a little while ago, sort of from out of nowhere, came a unexpected big hit Netflix series called Baby Reindeer. It is about, it claims to be a true story. Now, this becomes important, not inspired by true events, but it just says outright, this is a true story. And what's happened is this is about an abusive relationship. No, not even that. It's about a stalking situation. It's purely a stalking situation where a woman, ostensibly a lawyer, stalks a barman and wannabe comedian. And the story it goes through, it claims to be the true story of exactly what happened to this guy. It was written by him and starring him. The name is derived. I won't go into that now because that's revealed towards the end. And you guys won't know it, and nor will many of our viewers and listeners. So, what gets to the point, Tom? What happened though was people did try on Twitter and things try to find who these people were.
Yeah,
and they did. They found her. As someone else is pretty heavily incriminated in that. Well, is incredibly heavily incriminated in the story, and no one's been able to pin down this person yet. But they did find the woman it was supposed to be, and she felt she had no choice but to find a way to tell her side of the story. And she ended up doing an interview on Piers Morgan. Was paid the standard, what Piers claims, I've heard him say this, what Piers claims is the standard rate for people who he would interview. It's about £250 or something.
Yeah, £250. He said she got £250, a haircut, and a nice ride to the studio.
That's okay. That's about right. Yes. I think I heard him say that. I played, it was quoted on a Radio 1 podcast or BBC podcast, but I heard that. So she claims that a lot of this isn't true. And so Netflix is facing a lot of accusations that it's gone against something called compliance, which is where you fact check and anything that you claim is true actually is true. And it looks like Netflix has not done that. I think the fact that they're not tied down to a particular country might apparently be playing in their favor. I was reading about that in the Week magazine today, but I can't remember exactly what I read.
Also, when we watch the show, it says based on a true story. It doesn't say this is the full, actual true story.
Yeah, it's based. Because
if they say based.
I think they're able... she is taking issue with some of the numbers that have been sent. Like, the quantity of emails she sent was it meant to be 4,000 or 40,000 or something crazy like that?
41,000 emails is what the guy claims.
Right, and the reality, maybe it's nothing like that figure. So that's the situation that's going on at the moment with that show. And and Netflix, I think, is so far being quite elusive and not facing up to its charges.
Well, I mean, you'd have to say. I mean, I wouldn't have paid attention to it if it wasn't for that, and I'll probably watch it now. So, I mean, from that standpoint, these people are self-promoting the movie, in my opinion. I mean,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have thought about it. Sometimes it's better, really, honestly, to say nothing. You know what I mean? Than it is to,
Plus,
yeah,
plus, I don't know what she's complaining about. We've watched most of the episodes, and it makes him look like an absolute dickhead.
Right. Through the whole thing, I'm like, I hate them both. Like,
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
okay? I hate both of them.
I mean, I
Like,
realise he's got a lot of stuff going on and everything, but he's not exactly covering himself in glory himself.
yeah. I was like, out of all of it, at least he's giving a real representation of himself, and he's just a shit human being. Like, he's
Yeah.
not a good person. Um, I dislike his character on a molecular level. He engaged way too much, but then I tried to give grace because I'm like, I'm a woman. And so this situation um and the issues and safety issues that come of it, a man's probably not going to think of a woman, harming them like that. It's just a silly woman where women see the situation and go, this person can kill me.
yeah. I,
You
I, I I honestly think, you're onto a point there that men, instinctively, they. I mean, a lot of women, especially if they've been sexually abused, never ever stop from, you know, turning their head on a swivel. I mean, they're looking for the, in a lot of ways. That's what I feel. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, Sam is always aware of what's going on, and
yeah.
sometimes I'm just plodding along and not seeing
Yeah,
everything.
it's very much a woman thing. Like, I am very hyper aware of my surroundings. Every woman has, walked home expecting to be ganked by somebody. Like, it's just something we think about. And so say you're like Richard's height, which is like 6'3", 6'4", if some 5'1" little slight woman is blowing up your emails and, being weird, you're not going to think about the stuff that she might do to you.
And even if you do, no, I mean, like a lot of times the male community will not support you.
Correct.
Yeah, and they'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, what's your problem? Why are you worried about that?" It's just,
Right.
yeah. So in some ways, they still diminish the lady and
Mhm.
diminish the person who's afraid. I mean,
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
you, I mean, if a 5'1" lady has a gun, she's just as scary as a man with a gun.
Right.
You know, maybe even more.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and women have to think about this. It's not just men we have to think about, Like, there was a woman who befriended a pregnant woman and then just cut the baby out of her stomach, like,
yeah,
killed her to
yes,
get that baby. That
yeah,
crap happens. So
yes,
women are
Oh
always
my
thinking,
god!
"Hey, uh, how can I get out of this situation? What if this happens?"
Well,
right.
I'm really quite glad the conversation has gone this way. There was a few things I was gonna really wanted to go here with it. Kevin, you had something to say first, though.
No, Tom, you go. No, Tom, you go ahead, son.
Okay, thanks, man. Right. Um, the It's been very interesting hearing and reading about this bear phenomenon that has done a few rounds on social media. You know what I'm talking about, Nikki and everybody?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And
Not
Nikki,
a
do you want to
clue.
introduce Nikki, do you want to introduce the idea, please?
Yeah, so the idea is they asked a bunch of women, if you were alone in the woods, who would you rather be alone with, a man or a bear? And over 50% of the women chose a bear. They would
What
rather be alone in the woods with a bear than with just a random man, just a strange man they don't know.
what kind of bear?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Are we talking about like a large gay man that's hairy?
No, yeah, no, because that was my first thought. But no, we're
Yeah.
talking about like a grizzly bear, like a wild bear.
A
Yeah.
wild grizzly bear. Yeah, no, you're
Yes.
best off with the man.
No, all the women chose the
Well,
bear.
they're fucking morons. They're gonna
No,
die.
they're really not.
Grizzly
The thing is,
bears are not to be fucked with. They are
I'm
more
saying a
aggressive.
bear is in a grizzly bear, but no, but here's the thing. If
No, there's
you are
lots of
in the
different. There's a
woods,
black bear and a brown bear. It's not going to mess
right,
with you.
it's just a bear. Would we rather be alone in the woods with a wild bear or with a random man?
Well,
And
no,
every woman chose the bear.
Yeah.
it does matter because the species of the bear does matter
Oh my
because
god, it's
certain bears
semantics.
are going to kill you.
Yeah.
No, but
Grizzly
here's the
bears and
thing.
polar bears are
Yeah.
going to kill you.
You've
Okay,
okay,
hold
Richard.
on.
You okay? I think you're missing the point here. Is that
100%.
women don't
I'm not.
feel
No,
safe.
no, I'm not missing the point. I'm winding
Yeah.
Nikki up.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
But
you're
the point is, this is the details. Yeah, don't matter. And I know you're just playing devil's advocate, Richard.
I'm
It's
really not. I'm just
what
annoying Nikki.
this should give all men something to really think about. Nikki, you said at different times, you said all the women, and sometimes you started by saying
Mhm.
over 50% of the women. But you know
Yeah.
what? Either way, it
It
doesn't
is
matter.
over 50% of the women.
Right,
I think it was significantly over. Uh,
right.
I can't imagine that it's a very select and naive few that would choose the man, because regardless of what it is, let's just say that it's a football field, right? Length between me and the man or me and the bear. I'm choosing that bear. The thing is there are things that I can do. That bear, depending, it's either going to mess with me if it's a being protective, in which case I see it, I can go the other direction. That bear's probably not going to give a crap. I'm not paying attention to it. It's not paying attention to me. At the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is it does hunt me down and it mauls me. I'm dead, but I've served a purpose and it was quick. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Whereas with the man, that choice might be something different, and dying quickly is the best that you can really hope for when it comes to the bad things that that man can do to you as a woman.
No, I understand. I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, okay. So you know how I shit everywhere. My point is shitting everywhere. On this trip,
Yeah.
I did shit in Edinburgh Castle. But anyway, um, I was in Colorado and I got a little dicky tummy, so I went behind a tree and did my business. Okay, that's not the important part, but a bear did come up and sniff me and then took off. You know what I mean? You just wanted to see what was going on because
Yeah.
How
it was
big
a
was
different it
this
was a
bear?
different scent in the woods.
How big?
Uh I would say it was a medium-sized brown bear. I mean, probably. I mean, I'm really bad at gas. It was maybe 300 pounds. I'm guessing. Far bigger than me. That's for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, in a lot of ways, it's just checking it out. If you've ever been close to a moose or something like that, I almost are more afraid of mooses.
Oh, moosin are terrifying.
Yeah, because they're massive. They're massive and they're unpredictable. You know what I mean? And
I love the way that Gabby said, "Man knows how to be nice to get close enough to get you." That's
that-
true too.
that's right. It's the falseness
This is
of
manipulation,
it's the falseness of intention. No, but
right?
the thing the thing that's hard is if you are a genuinely nice person, it that it doesn't matter because in some cases, it's whether you're actually genuinely nice or putting
Yeah,
the brave face on. Not everybody who meets a woman in the world's going to try to
hurt 'em.
repopulate the world right away. Or,
Right.
I mean, I don't think, from that standpoint, that's very fair to some men, although I get it.
Right.
although I totally get it, and I think honestly, I'm going to say this, that men's behavior in the last 6 years have gotten worse because of the emboldenment of that bad behavior.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's so what this should be. I mean, a lot of blokes I know have, well, not I know, but I've been told that a lot of men have genuinely protested about this and said, no, it's not all of us, guys. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? It's enough, guys, for more than 50% of women to would rather take their chances with a bear
Yeah, but
than play the lottery of which
right.
one of us they might get.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Tom,
Enough
but
men for that,
yeah,
right, Nikki?
yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this, you know, what country is that in? Is that a worldwide phenomenon or is that an American phenomenon?
No,
Because
it's worldwide.
is that
Currently, South Korea has a movement where the women are like, you know what? No, we're not getting married. We're not having babies. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. And they've basically said men are not going to be a part of our lives anymore in that capacity.
yeah.
And a lot of it is moving into the US, which is becoming more extreme with it,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, where it's just like, we do not appreciate the role that we've played in society and been
Mhm.
forced to play in society. And
Mhm.
since you guys can't get your act together, we're more than happy to make us go extinct.
Well, so
I'm
I mean,
getting on. I'm getting behind
so
this.
so am I.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, me
South,
too.
South Korea. South Korea has a very low birth rate, and it is worrying the government something crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm. And that's part of
I know.
why they're basically forcing us as Americans to have children. We're going the same route. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're like, nope, nope, we don't want to do
You
it.
know what, Nikki?
We
That's
can't
not the
afford
first time
to.
I've heard that. That's not the
Yeah.
first time I have heard
I
the
think that that's
theory
why.
that.
Yeah,
Go on.
I think that they're really worried about the birth rate here, and but then again, you see, here's the problem with the argument of the traditional family and all that um, against it. We don't make enough money. That's clearly the way it is. The problem with the traditional family, I mean, other than the subjugation of women, you know
Yeah.
that's a problem. However, there's nobody that can afford a one income family, or if they do, they're very, very rare. I mean, what
Mhm.
I'm saying
They're
is that,
struggling.
yeah. So if you've got two people, two incomes in the family, a lot of people are going to say, I don't have time for children. I don't have this, because you don't have that sort
Mhm.
of extended family anymore where
Yeah.
grandma or grandpa could look after the children. So then you're paying huge amounts of money to somebody else.
Grandma and grandpa are working too.
Yeah, well, that's
You
true.
know,
Well,
their grandma and grandpa are still working as well. They got that
yeah,
9 to 5. They can't take care of the kids. They can't watch the kids. And also, we're finding now with all of this traditional wife stuff, now that women are able to discuss things with each other, we're seeing how damaging it's been to women. And it's not just, it's like one of my dearest friends and longest friends. I've known her since I was 12. She got married, had 8 kids. She got pregnant the first time she had sex. She got married as soon as she found out she was pregnant. She was a teenager. They were married for close to 20 years.
yeah,
She was a stay-at-home mom, homeschooled the kids, and when he left her,
yeah. She had nothing.
she had nothing. She had 0 experience. She was in her 40s. No one wanted to give she still struggles to get a job,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
I want to point out, maybe this is an interesting point of view, and maybe um not a popular one, but our idea of gender in society has always been set by people of wealth because that's
Yeah.
all we know about. So what I'm saying is if you were living, uh, so let's look at certain places like homesteaders or whatever, and you're dealing with a woman that actually had to do all the work if the man was away. And so is it that that was typical of that? I think that people used to work more as a team than I did. I mean, it's not like you didn't have to work. There was stay at home mom is a misnomer, and the fact that you were looking after everything, and the books and all these different things. So our impression of that, it's like when people talk about Victorian society or Elizabethan society, you're not talking about
Hmm.
regular folks. You're
No.
talking about people who were written about. And obviously, because the aristocracy is messed up, I mean, they're a bunch of cousin messers, effers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and they were doing these things like that. um that's what we get the idea of. I don't know if it really was like that. And a lot of things, I mean, I was listening to an anthropologist one time, and a paleontologist, and the anthropologist said to the archaeologist, I'm sorry, I said paleontologist, but he said to the archaeologist, well, when you're finding these things like the flint, napping pieces and stuff like that, are they painted like different colors? Like, is there a pink one or a blue one? And he said, no. Well, I said, well, he said, well, how do you know it wasn't women that were making flint? How do you know what the gender roles were back then? You've no idea.
Correct. Yeah.
You,
No
you have
clue.
no idea that men were the hunters and women were, at the hunter gatherer part. You don't know that.
You're
But
right.
that's a projection of what we think back to that time. And
Hmm,
so that
interesting.
that yeah, that's a perspective that most people don't take into it, is that we associate our values with people, and that's not necessarily true, because many cultures around the world were matriarchal. I mean, you could
Yeah.
definitely say that about
Uh,
yeah.
I want to say that most had even female goddesses and stuff like that that were the primary whatever, and it
Right.
was severely matriarchal until I think it was the beginning of agriculture.
Well,
Like the birth of agriculture
uh,
changed it because it went from what it was to actually the men having the power. They're tilling the whatever, they're tilling the
right.
fields or doing the thing. But yeah, gender roles, how do we know?
Yeah, well, I think, in a lot of ways, I will say that one of the things that propagated a lot of these problems was the Roman Empire. And then the Celtic Empire had sort of an equal status between men and women. And obviously, uh, women would go into battle with men as well.
Yeah.
However, it's sort of written like these are savages for doing that different stuff. And that was the way that was portrayed. So, I mean, it was, the Roman Empire, then the fact that, well, sometimes you can make the argument that because the Abrahamic languages, I mean religions, are so patriarchal that actually aided in the sort of taking away of women's importance. Even in the
Yeah.
Bible, it's looked like, women are seductresses, and they're really up to
Oh
no good.
yeah. And we're taught as women that if a man rapes us or whatever, that it's a majority our fault. Um, I like what Gabby said in the comments. Um, we were talking about real actual nice guys. Um, but she was like, where is it at? She said women don't like men that treat them badly, but it's even more terrifying to be with a man who's nice to you. With a mean guy, I know to sleep with one eye open. Might end up in the ER with a nasty brute, but with a nice guy, end up in the morgue. I'd rather be real mean than fake nice. That's that's why I vote Trump.
Well, I mean, there's some point. I mean, that's the thing. If there is something we said of what you're getting,
Yeah,
even if it's terrible, even if it's terrible. I mean, that I
yeah.
guess that's correct, but
The
you know that
evil, you know.
that's a sad situation for anyone to be in, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that way. But but how do you make that change? That's got to be a generational thing.
Right, and women are doing it. I mean, like I said, you've got South Korea and what you've got Americans taking up the torch and taking it one step further and being like, "You want us all to go extinct? If y'all don't do better, this is how we go extinct, and we don't care."
Right. What?
Like,
But
don't care.
do you think? Okay, so let's take it for example. Okay,
Mhm.
I think the vast majority of Americans want women's rights. I do. I think that they should have some sort of a choice in the way to look after their own affairs.
Yeah. Mhm.
But the fact is that that the Supreme Court says no. So at what point in time does that matter? I mean, you could say uh, socially, people are moving towards a society that values women more, and then you could say that legislatively we're going backwards.
Yeah, that's 100% what's happening. And nobody understands it except, when you go look and see where their money's coming from, and then you go, "Ah, they took a lobby for blah blah blah. They've taken this much money for so and so," because it's now you can go online and see who's getting paid what. But at the end of the day, yeah, how are we socially doing so well, learning so much, and then just, yeah, with legislative decisions going backwards like decades and decades.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Arizona was trying to implement a law from 1852. So, I mean, it just says it all,
Mhm.
really. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? I mean, and if you think about it like that, 1850 slavery was still legal.
Oh yeah.
Women couldn't vote.
Yeah.
Um, all
People
these
don't
different things.
think that
Yeah,
there are people that are still alive that remember segregation.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
yeah. That's a sad thing. I mean, segregation really happened very late, into the 60s and those
yeah.
types of things. And then you had sort of pseudo segregation where you still wouldn't feel if you were a single black person, a person of color, to go to anywhere. You wouldn't just go anywhere anyway. I mean, you're not, I mean that
Yeah. It's
you're
still
taking.
terrifying.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's certain places in Ireland I still won't go. I mean, and Richard felt the same way, and so um, and it's not because probably anything's going to happen, but
It's uncomfortable.
it's just got that reputation where again, that's just one of those things you just don't know what's going to happen, you know, and but that'll go away. I mean, that'll change again with the dying out of my generation, which is starting to happen, of course. So, you know, you got to move on, and that's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. There's too many old people making decisions for young people.
Yeah, I don't think that you should be able to be a career politician. I think you should have to go in, do your term for X amount, and then go right back into the workforce, just like you were before. Get paid the same amount as everybody else, deal with the same insurance as everybody else.
Oh, they're still going to be super mega rich. I mean that. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
so that I mean, you don't get you don't get that position unless
Yeah.
you've got a ton of money. I mean, let's be honest with you. So, are you um I mean, there are exceptions, I guess. I mean, you look at AOC supposedly,
Yeah.
and you go from that position. However, you know, uh, I don't know why they want to continue in it. You know what I mean? I just don't know how. Again, it's are they? It seems to me like a lot of times they've got husbands or wives who are very, very important in some other industry, and
Yeah.
that industry then becomes protected by the representative.
Ooh, speaking of, we were talking about violent men with the bear thing. Um, did anybody see the P Diddy video that was released on CNN?
No, I started to read about it. Have you seen the video, Nikki?
I watched the video and my mouth, like, my jaw was on the floor. I, I just wanted to hug her. Like, I kid you not, he grabbed her, slung her to the floor. She ragdoll. She was knocked out. He kicked her while she was down, dragged her down the hallway. Like, they have it all on video. This man, I hope, goes away for a long time. Like,
So,
him and R. Kelly can chill together, and hopefully horrible things happen to them in the showers. You know,
well, do you
Oh
my
God.
allegedly
my
on
my
Minecraft, obviously.
my question is this. So this was like a video. This was when somebody's statement. This was a an actual representation of what happened. Is that like an
This is an
actual video?
actual video. You can go watch the surveillance video.
No, a surveillance video. Well, I mean,
Oh
Yeah.
God.
not. I mean, the violence. I mean, I understand, but I get that because some of these people are just. I mean, if it's true that he allegedly had something to do with the death of, Biggie and
Tupac
Tupac
and
and all that,
yeah, and
and
all that.
which people have
I
made
mean,
that claim,
mhm.
and then this sort of
Sex
sexual
trafficking and
sexual bribery that he's
mhm.
doing to different people.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like he just has no morals. It's like sociopathic, you know.
I don't think that there's such thing as an ethical billionaire millionaire,
I agree
and
with you
I am
100%.
loving. Now, at first, I was like, cancel culture stupid, and sometimes it still is. But I love the fact that these young people and people are starting to wake up and go, why is this person making 100 mil a movie? There are teachers making 20,000 a year. There are nurses making this. There are people that do so much better and so many more things for society not making this money, and
Yeah,
yet these guys are spending $75,000 on a ticket to the Met
yeah,
Gala.
yeah,
And there are people that are suffering and starving, and we can't pay our bills. But these guys can pay $75,000 to a Met Gala ticket and spend like at least another 100 grand on their outfit.
yeah. Well, I
Oh,
think what's
the super wealthy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Uh, Eating the
In a
rich
minute,
is
can we go
is
back to the
definitely
P?
a
Can we go
trend.
back to the? Can we go
Yeah.
back to the Peabody thing in a minute? But can
Yeah.
finish up, Nikki and Kevin, please
Oh,
finish
yeah,
up
yeah,
about
yeah.
the
Sorry.
motherfuckers.
well, I've pretty much said what I need to say. I don't know about you, Nikki.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, sweet. Well, what it was going back to the P Diddy thing. This is exactly. I mean, it could not be a more poignant example of why more than 50% of women would rather take their chances with a bear, because you don't know what you're going to get, and you also the bear will make its intentions clear. I doubt P Diddy made
At first, yeah.
that sort of behavior was in him. I doubt he made that clear to his girlfriend when they had their first couple of dates. That whole
Hmm.
deception thing is a really chilling part of it. It really is. Um, um, I will say that in the wake of this, I have asked of hearing about this bear thing. I've asked a few people like what they've experienced and things like that, and no less than four of my female friends have told me within the past week that they have been raped. I'm
Yeah.
completely serious. I don't mean to put an unnecessary
Yeah.
downer on the conversation. This is
Oh
necessary.
no. No, and it's
It's
true. It's I
terrible.
think
It's
it's one
absolutely
in three.
sickening.
I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 girls will be molested in their lifetime. 80, this is off the top of my head, but I believe it's 83 or 84% of the people that will have done it is a trusted friend or relative. So, when everybody was losing their mind over trans people in the bathroom, I was like, you need to lose your mind over dad, uncle, cousin, brother, mom, aunt, somebody, and, best friend next door, Bob. Those are the people that you look for. 84%
Well,
of
Nikki,
Yeah.
girls. So,
yeah,
and this happens before they're even an adult. Like, we're
no,
talking, these are all children
yeah,
it happens to. That doesn't, and then if it happens to you when you're a child, you're I think it, like, statistically it, like, doubles your chances or whatever of you getting raped again. Like, and it's not always just because you're not cautious enough. Like, I
no,
guess it can be because, like, we're getting serious. So I was raped by someone I thought was a good friend. I had known him for 2 years, hung out with him all the time for 2 years, no problem. One day it just happened
yeah,
because I got into a false sense of security, and I thought that I would be able to go into that house.
yeah. Well, I mean, Nikki, I appreciate you. I thank you for saying that. I mean, because to be honest with you, a lot of people are very, very scared of saying that,
Yeah.
and say. But what I'll say is, I would have to say, and I don't know, um, the almost all the women I know have been at least sexually
Assaulted.
assaulted in some
Yeah,
way, whether that's
absolutely.
whether that's somebody grabbing their boobs or grabbing their
Mhm.
crotch or something like that when in an unwanted way. I mean,
Yeah.
unwanted touching, or the ultimate, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with rape. And the thing that's weird about it is most of them didn't report it, or tell. I mean, in a situation, I was in a relationship with somebody who had been raped, and years later I said, well, why didn't you just tell me? And she said, well, you, I think you would have gone and killed him, which is probably, I mean, to be honest with you, true. And she said, well, then he's free, probably, because he's going to get a light sentence, and then you're going to be stuck in jail for the rest of your life. And then what am I going to do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's the scariest part, is that, you know, and to be honest with you, it was so close to home that I know we haven't talked about EastEnders yet, but when Yolanda gets raped by the minister, we had to stop watching it, and so I haven't caught up with it, Richard. So
I
I mean, that was the thing.
I can't tell you how many times, women have religious trauma based upon
Oh, oh,
how pastors either A, molested them or groomed them, or B, just flat out said that didn't happen, or victim blame the person that it went towards. But
Yeah,
I don't know why it's so stigmatized, and we're so afraid to talk about it. Like, it is absolutely a downer, okay? No doubt about it. It sucks. I don't know why women are afraid to talk about it, and I'm so glad that the Me Too movement happened because it's starting to get easier to say this happened. it should be it's a shared thing that the majority of women have dealt with.
Yeah.
Why can't we talk about this?
Well, the social, liabilities of saying something,
Absolutely.
and to be honest with you, if if you say it, and then
It makes it
the other person is going to say, "Oh, she's making it up. I don't even know who that is.
yeah.
I don't know."
Yeah.
And so again, I mean, this is the
And,
thing where, in the national news now, somebody says, what Stormy Daniels says she was molested or abused sexually, sort of, Oh no, she didn't say that. But the fact of the matter is that even if they had sex and it was consensual sex, I'm guessing, which she
yeah.
said it was. I mean, the fact that you even come out and say it means that the other person is going to, just deny it all.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that denial can get turned around on you, and then you're cast as some kind of, you know, home wrecker slut that's just
Yeah.
that's trying to do it. And like I said, it's a very different it's a different connotation. I mean, even think about it in the standards of, if a man has 50 sexual partners and a woman has 50 sexual partners, society will judge them differently for
I
sure.
was actually going to say that that's another reason why a lot of women don't um don't go to the police. I personally didn't go to the police because I knew that they were going to look into my past. And if they saw that I had ever cheated on my husband or ever done anything, they were going to bring it up in court, even though you supposedly have rights and they can't do that. They do it all the time to women in court against rapists. If you've had sex with another man, then by golly, you agreed to have sex with this person, and that's just how they work, sadly.
Yeah, and a lot
And
of
so
people
women
think,
don't want to deal with it
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's all, we're immediately, even though we were the victim of this, we're immediately seen as someone who's lying. We have to prove,
yeah. Well,
you
I
know
think I think that that again, the standard, people think that a rape is, you're walking home, some dude jumps out of the bushes with a balaclava and a knife or something, and
yeah.
then that's not. I mean, that is violent. That's aggressive rape or agitated rape, but that's not, how the majority of things happen.
No, I
You
think
know,
that that's like 11% or something. It's a
yeah,
small majority of,
yeah,
and it's generally someone that that
yeah,
you're at least partially comfortable with,
yeah.
and
Somebody takes advantage of a person who's drunk or asleep
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I've got something to add here, guys. I've just recently watched a movie. I bought it on DVD for full price, £10. For the first time, I bought a full price, relatively new movie. You know, in a long time, and it's called How to Have Sex, and it's not an instructional video, as I keep failing to point out to people. It's a drama film. It is about a group of teenage girls who go to a big holiday destination, I think called Malia, in the Greek island of Crete, and they go to the party and they're hoping to have sex. But when it comes to the event, a girl is with a guy she is reasonably comfortable with, at least at first, on the beach, and then he kind of badgers her into it, and she consents somewhat begrudgingly. And then later on in the film, um, she's basically she's lying in bed. They're all sort of sleeping, just sort of all over the place. I mean, like literally sleeping all over the place, not having sex all over the place. No way. But and so it's not that unusual when her and this guy end up asleep in the same double bed in one of their apartments where everybody's drunk. Um, the guys are about 18, 19. She is about 15, 16. And he just keeps trying it on. And she says, no, quite clearly. And then uh, she wakes up and he is inside of her. And very quickly, some other people bundle in the room and he has to get off immediately. But it happened. And what was amazing was I watched the special features of this film because I was very interested. And they said that they showed it to a wide selection of teenagers. I think they showed the script, or I think they showed the footage. I'm not sure. I need to rewatch it. But they explained it all to a few to people, and almost all these teenagers, boys and girls, thought it was normal and okay.
Wow.
Which was stunning. I need to find the exact clip, and I might try and stream it to you after the show, Nikki, or something like that. We'll see how busy we are.
That's truly
It's
sad.
interesting.
That's truly sad.
Really, really alarming. And I therefore am determined to find a way to get my son Daniel to watch this film. Yes, I am. I think it is a vital part of sex education for. I think every teenager needs to see this film. 100%.
I think that they need to discuss consent in general in schools now.
They do. It's on. It is on my son's school's sex ed timetable. I've seen it.
Good.
Well, you're never going to get that done in the South, that's for sure. Because obviously they in the Bible Belt. I mean, they don't discuss it. They don't want you to discuss it.
Absolutely not.
If you do discuss it, then you're some kind of a communist
right.
socialist. And that's the thing. But I have no problem not talking about it if somebody else talks about it, but they don't. And that's the thing where if you want that to be your responsibility, then talk to them. Don't just ignore it, put your head in the sand. That's not going to help.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to get sense out of those types of people.
No,
I mean, these are the kind of people that fucking are all against abortion, but don't want anything to do with the child once it's born.
It's they're indoctrinated into their thought process, and as someone who's been there, it's a hard adjustment and a very uncomfortable one to kind of deconstruct everything that you've been taught by what is essentially a world accepted cult.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at it from the thing, you're indoctrinated before you can speak, before you can walk. You're going to church on the and you're hearing it all, and then you're being raised in it. That's a child does not have a choice in what religion they are.
They absolutely don't.
That's interesting. Yeah, you're totally right, Kevin. I've actually just very recently, within the last month or so, relayed my my sort of deconstructing and de-brainwashing of all things religious to you, Nikki. I messaged you with that voice note about a month ago, didn't I?
Yeah, I owe you one in return.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what.
Well, we all know you wear the trousers. The friendship's always biased in your direction. So hey, why change the habit of the 3 years we've known each other, bud?
I know, right?
Yeah. Richard, you're really quiet today. I mean, I know that's a super heavy topic. Maybe you don't want to talk about it, but
it's one of them things that it's hard for men to weigh in on.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right, because
I appreciate that take, Richard. That's why you're my favorite.
I do too.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing that I say, I'm trying to be, just a facilitator of the of Nikki's point. If you see what I'm saying, you could have monologued that, but I was just trying to help, in a way.
I don't know, just sitting back and let Nikki take the lead, because it's like abortion. It's a woman's body. It's got nothing to do with men. We don't get a say in it. That's as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're in a family, I mean, you should. I believe that it should be at least discussed, and then if ultimately speaking, he can say, well, I think we could do it. Whatever. just depending on the situation of how. I mean, here's the thing that really bothers me: that if a person is molested or is going to die or whatever, that person doesn't have a say in whether they can have an abortion. That is cruelty.
Yeah, have you not heard about
That's torture.
have you not
Oh,
heard
we're not.
about
We're
I
not.
think in Idaho, the woman where they're trying to figure out like how many of her organs should shut down before they consider it an emergency to give her an abortion of a fetus that's already
Yeah.
dead.
That's,
Come,
Oh, for
come on, come
fuck's
on,
sake!
come
You're
on, come on. We've
kidding
already
me.
had one deep conversation. Let's not.
oh yeah, no, that was just
Oh
an
yeah, my bad.
that was an
Yeah.
extension of that was an extension
That
of
was for free.
yeah, that was okay. So the latest thing is Married at First Sight Australia. That I recommend that. There are some real douchebags on that one.
Heck yeah.
It's
I'm
I love some
excited.
trash TV.
but that I
Me
mean
too.
it's super awesome. And then it's hard to figure out who the bad guy is because there's a guy who is pretty bad, but then there's another guy that seems to be like
Worse.
no, he's playing the beta to the alpha, but I think he
Ah,
seriously is the alpha. If you
oh,
see what
he's
I'm saying.
gotcha.
And there are some funny characters on it. I mean, really, really funny characters as far as that goes. And it's you get into it because you do think to yourself, oh, they would, they should get along. And it's a tough one because the ones that you think shouldn't be together, those are the ones that stay together, and the ones that you think should be together hit a roadblock or some bump in the road, and then they don't stay together. So it's an interesting program. But the thing that cracks me up about it is that they're supposedly brought together by this team of psychologists and marriage
Yeah,
therapists
yeah,
stuff.
they're probably all quacks, let's be honest.
Yeah, and so the thing that's funny about it is, uh, I don't. I mean, I honestly don't think it's more than just putting their names in a hat and then pulling it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so bad.
And then justifying why they're married at
Right.
first sight.
They both have blue eyes. We just thought it would be a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
choice.
Well, this person's
Yeah.
looking for this, and this person's looking for that. So, let's just let's put two opposites together instead of the two people
People
who.
that will be compatible.
Well, that's not a compatibility thing. If you say I want exactly the same thing
Yeah,
as another person, that's not a good show.
that's true.
You know.
Yeah. It's like 90 Day Fiance. If those are
Yeah.
really people in love,
Yeah.
would you watch it if Big Ed wasn't in it as much? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean that's
you're there for the train wreck. Like no
right.
one's there because it's quality television.
Yeah. And we talked about Naked Attraction before, didn't we?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Have you watched
Oh,
it?
that's silly. That is so. I gave up on that ages
Yes.
ago. That is such.
Yeah, I saw like
Garbage,
one or
that
two
show.
episodes.
Well, I mean it is it's beyond words for me. I mean, I don't have a problem with nakedness, but I mean, uh, picking a date based on just the body, I think is, weird.
It is.
Because I don't. I mean,
no wonder it never worked. I've yet to see. In all the episodes I've watched, no relationships formed from it. Not one.
right. But I mean, that's the difference between men
anyone
and
ever see
women.
anywhere
Isn't it?
where they did work out as a couple?
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me that I don't know. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is a misogynistic idea that men are so visual that they will pick somebody based on their appearance, on the way they
I
look.
would agree with that.
Whereas, women, although, I mean, obviously some women do. They do. I mean, but maybe that's not a relationship thing. Maybe that's just a, having it
Mhm.
off thing. Maybe they just want to have experience for one time or whatever, and they don't want to have a long relationship with them. But I think women do basically look at men in a different way for their attractiveness. I mean
Yeah,
that, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Because honestly, I don't know. I would almost choose a dab out over a six pack any day. Six packs are beautiful to look at. They are, but they're not like, I don't know. They're not where it's at to cuddle with. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're good to look at, but not in practice.
Well, there's such amount of time, put into that look that I think that's that's a relationship in itself in some ways.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
very true. And yuck. But also it's just not comfortable from a girl's perspective. Just saying.
well, what do you mean?
Like, have you
They're
ever
too, they're
tried to snuggle with someone who had a rock hard body?
yeah, yeah, I did one time. Yeah,
Six packs and rock hard bodies are what you think about during.
Right. But you don't want it in like cuz I'm not even that's a little bit TMI on my
are you
part.
saying
Anyway,
that? Are you saying that you like a little cushion for the pushing?
I do. I
I
do.
definitely do.
There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with like I don't know. I remember being a teenager, being skinny, and my boyfriend was skinny, and our rib cages were like bouncing off of each other, and I just remember going like, "Nah, I
there's like
need."
two skeletons going at it in the same.
Yeah, it wasn't cool. It was very weird for me, and I think that that just solidified my love for the fatties.
I like my women like I like my trifles, jiggly and full of juice.
And
should
and
we
and
should we
after
call
you're
it a night
done,
on that note?
full of custard,
Mm,
some
custard.
And on that
pants
disgusting note,
pudding.
okay, yeah, just get that last one in. Anything else
Yeah,
before we wrap
no,
things up?
no. Okay, that's it. I always end on pants pudding if I can. It's a good night that way.
It's not a good night if you don't get a traffic cone.
Yes, okay.
That's such a guy thing. What is up with guys and stealing like street signs and traffic cones and shit?
I don't know, but we pretty much all of it. I've done it. I know I've definitely done it.
I've never met a guy who hasn't done it. Like
Well,
every
Yeah,
single guy I know.
in
Yeah,
Edinburgh, there's a statue where if you don't see it with a traffic cone on his head, on the head of the guy, that's the weird part. I mean, that's like it's like so ubiquitous that everybody puts it up. It doesn't matter,
Right.
if somebody takes it down, somebody else is going to put it up because it basically needs to be there.
Right. That's where it's supposed to be.
but
Yeah.
it's like kebabs and drinking. When you're drunk, you always want a kebab, and you want a traffic
mm,
cone.
yeah.
And it's like some weird compulsion. So instead of wasting money on keeping pandas alive, we should figure out why grown men want to steal traffic cones and eat kebabs when they're drunk.
It's
Well,
like a symptom, I think, of testosterone poisoning.
well, no, I tell you what it is, because guys
What?
like doing things that are a little bit dodgy,
Destructive and
no,
dodgy.
but not physically, you know, significant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like when you go to a coffee shop or a bar or something, and you nick a beer glass or whatever. I mean, that's one of those things where it's a small petty, almost, it's a crime, but it's a petty crime, and you just do it to see if you can get away with it. I mean, I've done that. I mean, it's not, and it's things like, you know, it's just sort of marking your territory in a way. You see some special edition beer glass that says, Smithwick's or Kilkenny on it, and it's super cool, and you just want to put it in your wife's purse or something and take it away. I mean, because you really want it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and if you know, and you'd be willing to pay for it if they would sell it to you, but they won't.
I
So
don't
you
know.
just you nick
Yeah,
it.
you do all sorts of weird stuff. Like I regularly shoplift Mars bars.
No,
Don't know
I
why. I don't
Why?
even like Mars bars.
You can give them to me.
well,
Just
you're
I
talking
like
about
taking an advantage of the self-service thing. You put everything through, and you scan it all through, and then you pay for it, and no one thinks you've got a Mars bar up your sleeve. And it
I
just
thought you said up your, and it was a moment, and my
yeah.
brain went up
I
your
don't want.
what?
Yeah, don't be sneaking them out jail style.
I'm not I'm not that committed to the whole thing, but
Give him to your brother.
At least they got a wrapper on them.
Mars bars.
Hey,
Yeah,
give it to your little brother, and just say you want a Mars bar.
that's brilliant.
It's a bit shit.
It's a bit shit.
Richard, you see these git. Surely you can afford to pay for a Mars bar.
Well,
Yeah,
but that
yeah, but like they
yeah.
taste better if you nick them. Though.
Yeah, that's sort of that Winona Ryder effect, where she gets caught. She got caught shoplifting.
Yeah, and she was just like, because I could. Robert Downey Jr. freaking
Yeah,
shoplifted shoes.
I mean, it's. I don't know what it is. Is it like a little bit of a I don't know frustration with society that you just try to. Well, I don't know why it is. I don't know why. I mean, we all take pencils from work or something like that.
No,
I bet Tom doesn't.
I never have either. If Tom like I've legitimately I used to if I used the stamps or an envelope at work, I would go over to my boss and show her that I took it and then put money in petty cash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even take a stamp or an my mom, like, she stopped that for me. I think I nicked some gum and got caught when I was like 4 or 5, and she
Right.
traumatized me to the point where I have never stolen anything. I'm terrified.
Oh no, yeah, no, that happened to me with whenever you door knock and run away.
Yeah, ding dong
Got,
ditch.
I got caught one time, and this guy literally threw everything at me. He's like, "My mom's disabled. You're bothering her. She has to try to get up and come to the door." And he was like, "I want you promised me you're never going to do it." And I promised that I would never do it again. And I never have.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
some crap I would do, but I would be making it up the whole time. I would just be like making up the
Stealing.
most horrible crap.
Stealing's wrong, but lying's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
well, but it's like I never thought of the fact that this is an elderly disabled person that I was trying to do that to. I
Oh,
mean,
for fuck's sake, Kevin! Like it wasn't gonna kill her that you rang
no,
the
no, but
doorbell.
hey, look at it this way: I am now an elderly disabled person. If somebody knocks on my door,
Is
uh,
it going to kill you to answer the door and to find no one there? If someone knocked my door and I answered it, no one was there, I'd be relieved. I'm just going to say that.
Thank
I'd be
God.
like, oh, thank God, I don't have to interact
No.
with anyone.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean, but that's the thing. I noticed that whenever in Northern Ireland, whenever you order food, in America they just put it on your doorstep and leave.
Thank God. I'm
But
so happy for
but
it.
but in Britain, they
You have to
wait.
answer
They
it.
wait for you to. Yeah, they
You
get
have
really.
to answer.
Yeah, you
Well,
have
What?
I think that's better because America has a huge problem with porch pirates and
Yeah,
England doesn't.
No,
Because we
so
have to pick up the mail ourselves and they don't leave it anywhere.
yeah. Well, I mean,
um
but I mean, that's what I was saying. It was nice because you're getting it, and they know. I mean, they
It's been delivered. No, it's
I
like
get a picture.
it completes the contract. No, I think that handing it to the person should be the status quo.
Absolutely not. You don't understand because you're not an American. But let's picture this. I
I
go
don't
on
need to be
Uber
racist.
Eats. No. Listen.
Yeah.
Like I go on Uber Eats. I want fettuccine alfredo, and I order it, and I get a little thing. It tells me exactly where it is on the app, and then it says, like literally on the Uber Eats app, it says He's at your house. Give him a few minutes to drop it off. And then it tells me, and he sends a picture of it. So I know that he's out of my like vicinity. I don't even have to look at him. And then I
Yeah.
open my porch door and
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. I don't look at anybody. Like if I had unlimited income, I could live in this house and never look at another soul.
Yeah. But
It's
here's
beautiful.
the only thing about the only thing that bothered me about that that they give it to you is like I lived on fish and chips for like a week, and
Yeah.
it's the same guy. You know what I mean? It's like, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, it's another fish and chip. And like and then you get sort of like, and you remember what a fish supper looked like.
Yeah,
It's
that's just
massive.
delicious.
And well, but it also comes in that big box. It's like a pizza
Yeah.
box full of chips.
Yeah, it's massive.
And so they're looking at you like, here you go, Tubby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't make that judgment. But
They
Tom,
probably did.
you don't eat fish and chips, do you?
I do.
Nah,
No,
but
Tom's not paying attention. He's doing something else.
Oh, okay.
No, I am. I'm here.
Well,
No, I'm absolutely here. It's fish and chips. No, well, no, I don't. But you can get from Aldi. You can get fake vegan fish and chips. You can get fake battered sausage and chips, and that's brilliant. I had two. In a sandwich today. I can send you guys a picture of it. In a sandwich today, I had two vegan battered sausages with salad, mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise, and ketchup in bread. It was bloody fantastic and a great lunch.
And a coconut for dessert.
Yeah.
While you brought up the
vegan sausage
shit,
wrap.
I've canvassed all my friends, Tom, and everybody's come to the consensus that lab-grown meat isn't vegan.
There you go.
Okay. Well, fucking.
I certainly said I wouldn't feel easy about eating it at all. So, yeah, it makes sense to me.
I didn't feel like the science was there. I just felt like that it would have animal byproduct, no matter how far down the line it went. It would never be vegan.
It's one of those things
it doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right with me. And you know what? The plant-based chicken style nuggets that I had. Well, I don't know what you'd call them, but it was delicious. That was tonight's meal was delicious. I'll send you a picture of that as well. Hannah and I sitting down to eat. It was we did this lovely salad and this vegan fake chicken stuff. Made completely from plant proteins, and it was absolutely delicious. Fried it with it had this Mediterranean seasoning. Fried it with some almonds. Served it on this harissa bread. It was absolutely lovely. I'll send it to you all now.
That sounds vile. All right, it's 12:30. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, no. All I want to say about lab-grown meat is 4 words: Soylent Green is people.
It's people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and
the point of it is
they were in a population crisis. It would have made more sense. Of course it was people.
All I'm saying is that in these films, I mean, people like us, we're the first generation, and maybe we're not the early adopters. But it could be that that's just the way it is. That they're just going to make lab-grown meat, and you don't have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, eventually that'll probably be the
end goal.
Conclusion. The conclusion. There we go.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
No, I'm wrapping shit up. I'm falling asleep. All right. So that'll wrap us up for this week.
What kind of paper are you wrapping your shit in?
I really dislike you a lot right now, Kevin.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
That'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from them. Good night, everyone.
Night.